Hi guys, welcome to CJSF YouTube channel. My name is Lori and this is our Black History Month special. And today I have on the seat Mason, one of SFU's athletes. And yeah, Mason, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming on here.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm glad you guys, willing to ask me to come do stuff like I love doing stuff like this, especially for different student groups, around campus. Gets broadens my perspective.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So, first off, I'll say that my name is Mason Glover. I was born in Seattle, Washington. Grew up mom and dad, so I still have some sort of privilege in that aspect. But I grew up. Actually, I was raised in a house. Like I was born in the house I was raised in now.
Oh wow.
It's actually kind of funny. So yeah, and I just was around sports my entire life. Played football, basketball, any sport you could really think of. I really tried. So you know, and now I'm here. I'm a business major. So, but I kind of want to do something with that within the line of sports or so. So it's a little bit about myself, I guess. But it's kind of. But I guess as far as I get like a lot of like my strong advocacy, from my grandparents. My grandfather, he was civil rights movement, and then my mom, she's doing stuff back at my hometown with educators of color and stuff. So just felt like I had to, you know, embrace, especially like the changes that are going through at SFU. So yeah, it's a little bit about me, I guess, on the side. If you want to know anything else, I like to cook. I'm just going through, trying to tell at least, I don't know.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. So, what was the reason you started playing football?
So the reason I started playing football is, my whole family, on my dad's side is, very sports orientated. So I actually played soccer up until I was like grade I think 3, so, and then I started getting too aggressive on the pitch. So my dad was like, I think it's time for you to play football. So then I got started grade 2. I got started in football, and then there was times where I did want to quit, but I haven't stopped playing since. So it's been about like close to 15 years, maybe, in counting right now. So hopefully, in counting after I'm done with my senior season here. So yeah, that's a little bit about the football aspect.
Oh wow, that's nice. Okay, so the major games you've played so far, like how were you able to handle pressure?
Honestly, how I handle pressure is just you. Actually, okay, let me start with this. When I was younger, my dad taught me the game is 80% mental and 20% physical. So what that means is you're using your mind more, and your mind has a greater power over you as opposed to your body itself. So I just kind of take that into consideration of prepping a game before I even get to the game day. So everything I do from that week of practice leading up, all the way to that Saturday night or Friday night when I play that game is kind of how I mentally prepare myself to get ready for the game. A lot of people think, when you're playing the game, you're starting on that day, like you're trying to get locked in. But no, you should really be locked in the week before. So that's really what a habit I developed is like making sure I just have like a checklist of stuff that I do so I know I'm ready to go. And anytime I need, help, questions and stuff, I, go to my coaches. They're always willing to listen, all types of stuff. So that's really how I prepare myself is before the game even starts.
Okay, that's nice to hear. So, how do you manage school and football? Like, how have you been able to balance that?
So really, it's just having to sacrifice. Really, it's like, okay, so there are some times where I'm not going to be able to go out with my friends, downtown or something at this time of day. Why? It's because I got to go get this essay done. real quick because I didn't have time to do it because I was at practice, I was at lifts, I was at class. So it's like, okay, you have to allocate the time that you have available and use it to your full advantage. And then if you have extra time after, then you can go ahead and, do what you want with that time. Really, I'm a firm believer. I mean, kind of like it's like a process. You have, obviously it's like family, and then you got your education, and then football is like not even the top. It's not the top thing that we're worried about. And then your faith, and then your socials down here, your socials down there. But really, it's like as along the way, I, create relationships as I'm doing things on the side, So it really has just been kind of taking more time, and instead of like that allocated time that I have into like sleeping, it's just going out and, meeting people, talking to people and stuff. And it's kind of like what kind of keeps me going and keeps me sane at the school. So, yeah, that's about it.
Okay. So, how's your experience been as a black football player? How's that been for you?
Honestly, I'm just glad I grew up with a lot of people that were, allies of me. Whatever move I felt like would needed to be made, I had support. And not a lot of people can say the same thing because, people grow up in different situations and have different things pinned upon them. But I've had a lot of respect, I felt. And that's a privilege to say because not a lot of people can say that, So growing up as a black player, I just kind of understood that they're even still, I stand on a different level than a lot of people.
So, do you feel that black people are represented enough in sports?
Not enough sports that I feel like we should be represented in. Obviously, like with accessibility, you're able to play football, you're able to play basketball, soccer, and black people dominate in those sports, But it's sports like gymnastics or like hockey. Those sports really aren't accessible to black families because it's expensive. Yeah. And really there needs to be more ways to be able to have avenues for different sports because, like everybody should be able to play, a certain sport, no matter who you are, really. But there's definitely a disproportionate amount of opportunities. And that just comes with the territory for like some sports, and that's not how it should be. People should literally have the opportunity to try out. But I'm glad, like, in NCAA, I'm glad I'm seeing like all types of black gymnastics. There are black gymnastics athletes. There's more, hockey players come. I'm friends with one of them that's black, and I was like, you're the only one that I know of because ain't nobody else doing this. But I'm glad I'm starting to see more representation, but it needs to keep going because there needs to be more.
I feel you on that. I definitely feel you. So, well, how do you do like issues that have to do with like race? Like if like someone is like being like racist to you, like within your team or like in sports in general, how are you able to handle that?
Honestly, first and foremost, if they're on my team doing that, I'm checking them off top because we don't play that here. Yeah. And I haven't had to do that to anybody on my team, so it's amazing. It's testament to SFU. So, anyways, but I've had some incidents, especially like at high school, where there's some teams that have said some crazy stuff, on the field. So, really you just kind of either go about it two ways, or not even two ways, really just kind of how, wherever your personality is, kind of how you handle it. Me, I kind of have a smart mouth, so I might say something back. Not obviously it's like, out of pocket is like what they were saying, but, I'm going to be like, okay, like, keep talking that mess and see what happens next, and then I'll go score on them the next play, so it's kind of like I'll back up my talk that way. But some people are silent, some people hear that noise and don't do anything. They're like, okay, I'm just going to keep doing me. But really it's like people prefer it that way. But what I say to that is, why are we allowing that? Why do we have to be the better person in that situation? You understand? Exactly. Like, why do I have to be quiet when somebody's yelling the N-word at my face repeatedly on the field? Why do I have to just walk away from that? And it's definitely because, there's a lot more awareness surrounding, obviously a lot more awareness surrounding like race, but it's still like, hey, like if you hear it, I'm gonna check you on it, and you're gonna hear about it, and that's really what it is. You don't have it's not the 1970s, 60s anymore where you could probably just get away with that. And I've even had my dad. He's had some run-ins to some crazy like. I'm telling you, like the coaches had to surround him, and like while he walked to the bus, because there was a crowd of people wanting to come after him after a game, because he did them so dirty, during the game, that they were wanting to hunt him down as soon as he got out the locker room. So it's like it gets that intense, and obviously it's like where geographically you're located too could still be like that today. So really, it's just kind of like how you personally handle it, but you do need to check somebody on it. That's how I feel about that.
Okay. So like, what is one of your like the most unforgettable moments like on the pitch that you would never ever forget so far, like during a game or something?
I have a few. So actually, it's a funny story. So when I was playing Little League, when we get into playoff season, there's a chance you could lose and be out. So you have to turn in your gear and all types of stuff. I didn't get the memo of that, so I didn't bring an extra change of clothes.
Oh, wow.
So my coach was like, if you didn't bring an extra change of clothes, you're going home in a garbage bag because I'm taking the gear. So I'm literally like, I'm 10 years old. Like, oh my goodness, we're losing. In our game, we're losing. We're down 6. There's like 3 seconds left. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to have to go home in a garbage bag. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm not even thinking about the game no more. I'm like accepted the fact that we lost. But quarterback steps back. He's like 10 years old. He throws it like 40 yards down the field. Teammate catches it. We win the game by 1 because we kicked the field goal and make it. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my goodness. I almost had to strip down, wear a garbage bag to go home. That was the most unforgettable moment, really. And it really had to, like, do nothing with football. That's the funny part. Like, I've won championships and stuff, but, like, that takes the cake. Like, I would have almost stripped naked.
Oh, I'm sure that must have been, like, a bit. Okay, so how does it feel, like, when, like, you hear, like, supporters, like, in the, what they call them, in the crowd? Like chanting, like screaming. How does that feel for like players?
Honestly, it's definitely a good feeling, but sometimes like me personally, I'm too locked in to like even really notice it. Except my mom, she does this like chant. She does this chant that I always hear, no matter how loud it gets. I'm gonna hear that. But really, it's just because like I'm locked in the moment. But like when I have time to snap out of it and kind of like embrace the crowd, I do that. I pump up the crowd and stuff. So really, it's like depends on who you are. But me, I'm just too locked in and focused to even realize it. So yeah, there you go.
Okay, so last question: any plans for the future in football and outside of football?
So as far as the future for football, hopefully, after this year, I'll find some sort of professional opportunity, whether that be, CFL, NFL tryout, overseas, wherever. I want to try to keep playing as long as I can. But after that, I kind of have my marketing degree. I want to go into something with sports, give back to, like, my community, my hometown, and give opportunities for children to explore many different types of sports and just kind of be a mentor for that on the side. So that's kind of my plans for when I get back home. And I need to create like a contingency plan for how I want to do that, but it'll be done. It'll get done.
That's really nice. Okay, so we're moving on to like the rapid fire questions. So I'm gonna ask a bunch of random questions and yeah, that's what I want. So okay. First question. What was the last thing you watched on TV?
Attack on Titan.
Okay, what subject would you be okay never learning about again?
Wow, chemistry, because I'm just bad at math and mixing stuff together. Otherwise, it's drinks. I'm kind of a good bartender.
Okay, would you rather have more time or have more money?
More money, because it's a struggle out here. Some of these I need that money now.
Okay. Wine or chocolate?
Chocolate,
Um, what is a word you absolutely hate?
guelph. It's just kind of gross. It's guelph. It's like what? Yeah. Sorry, guelph. Hope they don't see this.
I don't think I've heard that before. Okay, but last question: if you could have an unlimited supply of one thing, what would it be?
I mean, besides money, but that's the easy answer. I'd probably say something like fried chicken or like. I mean, no, that's I don't know. I'm just saying random answers. It'd probably be money though. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so guys, that's a wrap. Thank you, Mason, for coming on this interview. Really appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you in our next video. Bye, guys.